It's September 12th today, and things are still ripening. Things have changed. It's happening rapidly now. September's like the kind of the last month really, for ripening. If they haven't started ripening by this point, then pray, because they're probably not gonna. But I'll give you a quick show around. I'll show you what's happening. I'll show you what's ripening. I'll show you what I've been doing. I'll tell you what I've been doing, and we'll go from there. Right, we had a really humid week last week, so I didn't really need to water, but now that the humidity's gone, I really am. And we're getting this now, because we're getting such heavy fruit on the branches. A lot of these ones that have got low branches are now hanging down, and in some cases, there's another one that's hanging down, that's a haloro, but in some cases they're snapping completely. These ones snapped off the other day. There was another one snapped yesterday. This one here, you see, this is the 7-pot yellow. It's just snapped at the base because they're getting so heavy with fruit now, and I didn't support them. That was my fault. So if you do have plants like this that are forming branches quite low down, this one's snapped as well, but it's still okay. It's still attached. That's fine. It's still getting to the fruit. A lot of these need watered. I'm going to do that in a minute. But in terms of ripening, these purple pumpkins are ripening up really nicely. My Duda Spanish sweet peppers, we've already pulled one of those. I pulled one of those at the weekend. We had it for dinner. These are my fluorescent scarlets, which are ripening up beautifully. And I am making a hot sauce with these tonight, because I've got enough. I've got a big bowl of them up the road already that I've been saving up since Saturday. And every day I come down, there's another few ripened, and so that's getting bigger and bigger. It's going to be a bigger ferment. That was not quite right, but we'll chuck it in anyway. The other fluorescent scarlet over here is the same. Fruit's ripening up very rapidly. That one also needs watered, so I'm going to do a quick watering of them. One thing to note about the ripening part of the season is that my cayennes have now started to ripen, and actually are looking not too bad now that they're ripening. So I may get a hot sauce from these after all. This is probably the best one of the lot, where they actually look a little bit like cayenne, but they're not very big. They're tiny. The cayennes are usually bigger than that. Now, these ones here, the Caligaritza, these are one of the first to ripen last year, and probably about the fourth to start ripening this year. Not been great, but I'm glad I've got them, because I do like them. They're nice fruits. Over here we've got the, unfortunately, the only ones of the Antiacidomas that we have, that are ripening are the ones that the slugs have put holes in. There may be another one across the other allotment. We'll go and check that in a minute. Yeah, this needs watered. I'll water all of these before I go across. There's no sign yet of my big pubescens here ripening, the Montefar. That's disappointing. I've had a few off of this already, the Lemon Giants, unfortunately. I mean, the Lemon Spice. And some more of them are still coming. Yeah, there's another little one in there that's ripening. It's just the small ones at the moment. At the back, the Armageddons have started to ripen, which is good. I like these. It's nice having a super hot. There's one with a slight hole in it. It's not all the way through, so that might still be okay. The Pumas have been amazing. Pumas have been amazing this year, ripening. I've filled up my dryer with these. I make dry spice with these, and I may try making a sauce with these this year. I've got the dryer in a very low setting, and that's to try and keep the colour, because the colours are amazing in these. I want to try and keep the colour, and if I can keep the colour when they're dry, I may try making a sauce from them that way rather than doing fermentation, because when you ferment these, they just go this horrible, ugly, mustardy colour, and it's not nice. The sauce doesn't look nice, and even though it tastes nice, it's kind of unappealing because of that. The Brazilian starfishes are starting to ripen now. Not fast enough. The plant's actually got very heavy with fruit in the last few days, and as a result, even the stake that it's attached to can't take its weight anymore. So it's starting to fall over. I'm going to need to put another stick in there. Down there. My haloros are ripening as well down there. I picked a load of those yesterday, so there's not really anything to see on that one. Over here, these are the ones that I'm really liking. The Pimenta de Dog, look at that colour. They're absolutely beautiful. I've picked one of those already, which I saved seeds from. It's one I had isolated at the start of the season, so that's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic to keep those ones going. I think, I can't remember, are they an F4 or an F6? I'll need to check Fatali. But so it'll be my pleasure to grow it on and see if we can create another generation of that. My cross Chilli is getting heavy as well and is starting to fall over this way. Its support is coming down, which is a good sign. It's nice that this is the one that's been the most prolific, that I've got the most chilies off of so far this year. It's probably been the best one. In here, in terms of what else I've been doing this year, things I've been looking forward to, I've been doing some crosses, and somewhere in amongst all of here, and amongst my pumas, there's a puma with a blue ribbon on it. There we are. And that is one of my crosses. And that is, yeah, that one looks like it's a decent size and it's going to ripen. So there'll be a lot of seeds in that one. And there's also another cross involved here with a 7-pot yellow and a little blue ribbon on it. And hopefully that one ripens nicely. There's more down there that are ripening, and I'm hoping that these branches I broke, I stuck them back in there, hoping that, you know, maybe with any luck, they'll still ripen. There'll still be enough water getting to them. So we'll go and have a look at the other greenhouses, see how we're getting on with those, and show you a couple of surprises. One that I'll always grow, but that you've got to be prepared, it needs a long season, are the ahi lemon, or the ahi lemon drop, whatever you want to call them. I've seen them with different names all over the place. Now these start flowering quite late. Ordinarily I would have maybe had a couple of ripe fruits by now on it, but the main ripening starts now with these because they do a lot of growing first. I'm just looking for one of the chilies just to show you. There's one there. A wee bit away from ripening yet, but they do sit for a bit longer because they need a longer season. I think they're kind of, you know, a little bit cold hardy, and they put up a little bit more with the cold than the other ones do. For example, these ones here are already feeling the pinch, deciding that the season's over, whereas this one here knows it's not over and is hanging around a bit. Red habaneros, I've had no luck with these this year. There's one in this little pot, I've got a few more in the others over there, and there's one under here that this has fell into. I don't know if you can see them under there, little habaneros, and little is the word. Yeah, okay Coco, we see you. Yeah, okay, you're in the video now. Right, you happy? Okay, so this is one of the ones that struggled. This was a padron that struggled, as you probably saw a few months back, or a month or so ago. I put up a video saying that these were struggling. Managed to resolve the issue with that, and it made a recovery. It bushed out a little bit. It's got lots of flowers on it now, and maybe because we picked them so small and unripe, we don't need to ripen these ones, and you can still use them. We'll probably still get a few more off of that if we're lucky. Down here, again, another one that was struggling, but that's now pushing out a lot of fruit, are these white jalapenos. I don't think I want these to ripen, really. I want to take them before they ripen, but there's one that started down there, which is good. So we'll go across the other ones. I'll show you some peri-peris over there. Actually, this one's got a ripe one down there, which is good. If they're starting to ripen now, then I'm confident that we'll get a few before the end of the season. Right, let's go. In the polytunnel, these are all in 5-litre pots and they're doing really well. This is a poblano, and there was a big one on that, just one fruit on it a few weeks back, and I took it off because I thought that's probably stunting it and holding it back a little, and God, how right was I. Now again, 5-litre pot, we've got Poblano's that size all over it now. So these ones will be pretty successful even with their roots being restricted in that way. Takanatsumi now starting to come on a little bit, all bunching up. That's good. I like them. They make a good dry spice. I've never really had enough of them to make a proper sauce with. Although I could make a kind of Tabasco type sauce with those. Especially this year, seeing as I grew Tabascos this year, and they're not really coming out very well. This is the other peri peri, one of the other peri peris. My 5-litre pot is not doing great. These are ones I haven't really talked about this season, and for good reason. Probably I'm not really a huge fan of them. This is Chilli. They're an orange cayenne variety. Really good for dry spice and sauce, probably, if you don't mind the colour. But I think a lot of people prefer, you know, if you're going to have a cayenne sauce or a cayenne dry spice, you want it to be red, don't you? So, yeah, I may use these. One of the reasons I'm growing this year is just to get fresh seed, so that next year I could possibly maybe add it to one of my sort of breeding ideas. But yeah, we'll see. These ones are struggling. I mean, again, these should have been starting to ripen a lot earlier. And when you get ones that are ripening in this way, you know, where it's ripening on one side and still green on the other, that's an end of season thing. So these are only starting to ripen now that they know it's the end of season, and it's probably a little bit too late. You know, ideally we wanted these a bit earlier. So chilies in the polytunnel is something I'm probably going to have a rethink of next year, because they haven't done well at all. These are Ring of Fire. Nice ripening up in there. I didn't notice those until right now. The slugs have been having a go at that one. It doesn't matter, it haven't affected the fruit any, so if that ripens, that's still usable. That's fine. We're not going to use the calyx in our sauces or spices. So we'll go across. I'm not even going to talk about these ones. Just briefly, yeah, those are 4 chili plants that went in at the same time as all of the rest of them and haven't done all that well, although, hold on a sec. Right, we've had quite a lot of these. These are, oh God, what are they? Basque. These are Basque chilies. I've grown these for the first time this year. The other one of these plants that I have has produced quite a lot so far, and I have already done 1 fermentation this year. Well, I've got a fermentation started, vacuum fermentation with these, with Basques, and that went in the fermentation fridge on Saturday. So, looking forward to that. I'm only going to leave that fermentation for a couple of months. Normally, I kind of leave it about 6 months. And some of the ferments I've got in are from 2021 still. So, yeah, I tend to leave them a little while. But this one here, I'm going to take out pretty rapidly. And I'm doing a video on that. I filmed doing the initial fermentation steps with that. So we'll go across the other greenhouses and show you the other surprise. Oh, the little bunchies. I've got fruit on them. Yay. Including that one. Pink habanero now has one as well. That's awesome. And the Puma. Puma's got small ones. I don't think it's going to come to anything. I know that was a bit blurred. I didn't focus it. Ripening. We have fish peppers, which is good. I don't like the quality of these this year. I've not liked them. I know they've been kind of drowned out by this squash plant that's produced this massive squash. But yeah, I still would have expected it to get taller and to reach through all of this, but it's not really been great. Been a bit disappointed by the quality of those this year, as have I with some of these ones over on this side. This is one of the cayennes here, and it's been, look at see the size of that. That's what I've had to contend with this year, really. The cayennes have just not been great at all. Very, very poor quality. There's some ripe ones down there, but not a lot. On this side, maybe it's just this side of the greenhouse, I don't know. There shouldn't really be anything interfering with all this stuff here. We've got some more caligaritzas that are starting to ripen a little bit. And here we have, I'm pretty sure that's no it's not. This is a Gornal. So this is one that I was actually really looking forward to getting. And yeah, I haven't really got much success with this year. Fruits do look interesting though. Next year, so I've completely failed with this one this year, but next year I'll place this somewhere more conducive, a little bit warmer for it, because I think it's just not like being in here with the open door. This Takanatsume has quite enjoyed itself, but again, it's slow to ripen this year. Next year, yeah, but probably leave out the squashes and the cucumber, because I think that's spoiled things a little. It's not spoiled things for everything. These are the Havana Gold, and as always, it's just loaded with fruit. I refuse to use the word pods. Loaded with fruit. This one here, is this one ripened now? Yeah, there we go, there's a ripe one. Beautiful, ripe fruit. And they taste like pineapple. Pineapple and grapefruit mixed together. In fact, let's give this a little taste. There's very little heat. I mean, I took quite a bite out of that. It's not just the tip. And I've got seeds, so there's a little bit of heat. But not a lot. Wow. It's tasty though. You could put this in a salad. Another wee bite. Still no heat. Well, teensy bit. A teensy bit of heat there. Not a lot though. Down here we've got guajillos, and they've all had this problem this year. I don't know if this is... It can't just be the temperature that they've been at, or what they've been getting fed, because I've got some that are in 5 litre pots that have got this. This one's in the ground. I've got one in the ground over there in the polytunnel that's got this, and I've got one in a sorry, my mouth's watering from eating that chili. It was really nice. One in an 11 litre pot that's got this as well, and I was taking them off, but I don't think it doesn't seem to be causing them any problems. I mean, it looks bad, but it doesn't feel bad. The chili still feels solid, so I'll wait and see how they go. I'll wait and see how they ripen up, if they do at all. Next to that one here, it's kind of like, oh, there's one ripening up now. That's good. So we'll have one to test it in a little while. These are the Thai Hots. They're not ripening. You can see fruit on them, but they're not ripening. I don't really get a lot of them anyway. I really just grow them for filler. I think I was just using up seeds this year. They're not bad, putting them into other things, but these are Haloros. They're ripening up nicely. This plant's in actually better condition than the other one. And I keep forgetting that these have got quite a low profile, these plants. And they grow quite squatly, you know, so I mean, you're talking that's about a foot off the ground, and they're less than that. They just spread out and they get heavy, and when they get heavy, because they're so low, they get that branch fall off and the branches break and stuff. But this one's been okay with the support this year so far. Touch wood. I have been advertising this. I've been telling everybody in the videos that this is a Chinese, a Hainan yellow lantern. Hainan yellow lanterns don't look like that. So this is the surprise. Now these seeds definitely came from a yellow lantern. I actually have a video where I made sauce last year. It was an autumn warmer hot sauce video. If you go and watch that, in that video, I have Hainan yellow lanterns that go into that sauce. And actually, that's where I saved the seed. That's when I saved it. And you can actually see it in the video. You don't see me saving the seed, but you'll see the bowls with the seeds in. And that's those. So this is crossed with something that was next to it. And I've been looking back through the videos, and I do remember now which one it was. So a Hainan yellow lantern is crossed with another chili, and I'm not going to tell you what that is at this moment in time. We're going to leave that for the moment and see how these progress. Now, I took one of these yesterday, a very small one that was ripe, and I bit the tip of it off just to taste to see what it tasted like without getting the heat, and it tasted amazing. And it's definitely a Chinense, so it's definitely crossed with another Chinense. As soon as you cut open, you can smell it. You smell that beautiful perfumey fruitiness of the Chinense. It's really nice. And this is loaded with fruits. And now that they're ripening, I've got enough there that I could probably do a fermentation. I could make a nice hot sauce with those, but I really, really, really want to do a proper taste test of those, and I'm a little bit scared to, but I still really want to do it just to taste it, especially after yesterday tasting the tip of it and how nice it was. And I could still taste it last night when I was up in the house. But this one, oh man, no heat in it. No heat in it. The Havana Gold, but absolutely really lovely tasting and really good. I might make a sauce with that, just for the taste rather than the heat. I think that would be awesome. So there's not much else to look at in here. Disappointing returns on some of them. And this one here isn't even getting any water at the moment because these plants here are killing it off. These were spares up here anyway. I think that's a 7-pot yellow, that's a Dingo Naga, the same as my little bunchy over here. And I can't remember what this one is. It's a something or other. And it is. It's a Trinidad Scorpion. And there are no Trinidad Scorpions on it. They don't grow well here anyway. It's like I said, it was a spare. I thought I'd put it in here and see if it made any difference to it, but difference is there none. So, one more greenhouse, the long greenhouse at the back. We'll go and have a look in there and see what's cooking. Immediately I'm walking in the door, we've got this ripening purple pumpkin. I've got enough of these now to make a sauce, I believe. So I'll get a fermentation in for these in the coming days. Well, they could do with a little bit more yet. I want them to be actually fully ripe. I don't see when they're kind of light orange like that around there. I don't like it. I like them to be like that, completely like that, before I'll try to ferment. In fact, if you want to save seeds from them, that's what you want them to be. You want them to be actually fully ripe up to the point where they're starting to go a little bit soft before you save the seeds. This is another Montifar, like the one in the other greenhouse, the Capsicum pubescens. The fruit on this one isn't as big, but I thought there was one ripening. I thought I'd seen one ripening the other day. That's a lemon giant that's ripening to red. So obviously not a lemon giant then, eh? And yeah, so we've got more Ring of Fire here. This one here is my Tricolor, and it started ripening just last week. And I like these ones. I like taking them just like that, when you can still see a little bit of the purple streaks in them, and dry them like that. They look really nice. This Cayenne over here, I've given up on. It's got a lot of ripe fruit, but the fruit just doesn't feel right. It's very soft and horrid, and I don't think I'm going to get any use out of that this year. So I'm just going to leave that one be over there in the corner. I'm going to scrap that one early. All of the Cayennes have been a disaster area this year, as I keep saying. And it's really disappointing. It's actually making me question whether or not to ever grow them again, because I had the disappointing year last year with the aphids as well. And this year it's just really, really poor genetics, I think. These are peri-peris, and they're coming along nicely. Yeah, I've got 4 of these plants, 5 of these plants, I think. And now they're starting to ripen, and I'm hoping that they kind of do that quite rapidly, because I don't want to waste these on dry spice, unless I'm drying them to use in a sauce later or something. I really want to make sauce with those this year. As you'll see, this is a pink habanero, and it is in poor condition now. It thinks its season's over anyway. Its fruits are now ripening though, which is good. We're getting quite a few of them. I wasn't expecting a lot. I've not had very much success with red habaneros here in the last few years. This is one here, case in point. Although this one seems to have produced a few nice little ones. Not grapefruits at all, but nice little ones. Take that one up the road. And we've got this one here in the 5-litre pot that's producing tiny, tiny little ones, which are no good to me. I'll just chuck them. In fact, this one's been holed by slugs as well, so it's not very good quality. I'll keep it anyway. I'll take it up the road, I'll let it ripen, cut the bits out, and dry the rest of it, if it's okay. The Basque chili. Here's another one. These ones have kind of got stretch marks, so I'll probably not do much with that unless I cut off those marks. But the fruit, I've taken most of the good fruit off of that already, and once all of that comes off, I think this plant's done as well. The aphids really stunted this one at the start of the season, and they've started to come back again, as you can see. So I think once these ones that are on it have finished ripening, which should be in a couple of days, I'm just going to scrap this one for the season as well and put it to bed. Padrones really grow in the early season. I use these for snacking on. They're really nice, just for using in sort of tapas like dishes. But late season, I like to let the big ones, the ones that get a little bigger, I like to let them ripen and turn red, and I make a nice sauce with these. I make a sauce that that goes very well with steak rather than with chicken. It's quite good. It's got this consistency of tomato sauce, and I might actually make a wee video on that at some point. But I make them dried, so I dry these first when they turn red, and then I use the dried peppers to make the sauce, and it comes out absolutely amazing. This is an Antipathidoma that is ripening. All the ones in here have got these stretch marks. It seems to be endemic to this greenhouse, and I think it's just because of the fluctuating temperatures and fluctuating sort of moisture levels, because it's so open to the air. So when it's rainy, it's very humid in here, and when it's not very rainy, it's very dry in here. So I think in the periods of rain, these are growing rapidly, and causing all these sort of stretch marks. The plant thinks they've finished growing the fruit, and then more water comes and stretches out a little bit more, and it creases it all like that. That's my theory anyway. I could be wrong. Spider in here. We've got a rather intrepid spider in here that builds a web every night and I destroy it every day. These are my fuegos, and there you go, another one, stretch marks. Same reason. I think it's all happening in here for the same reason with the bigger sort of plants. We've got none of them are ripening yet. As I keep saying, this is was an F1 last year, so this is F2. This is me growing on seeds from an F1 plant. And the fruit looks absolutely spectacular. Looks really good, and I'm hoping it ripens. I hope it does ripen, because I'm, as I say, short on cayennes. Speaking of cayennes, this is what I'm talking about. This is basically the quality of the fruit from this year's crop of cayennes. I kept this one. I should have scrapped it a long time ago. But there are 3 that are going to get scrapped in here in the next week, and that's probably going to go in the bin with the other cayenne at the back there. These are my Kashmiri Mirch, and now starting to ripen. These were one of the first to ripen last year. I was pulling these off every day back in July, from July, mid-July last year through to August, off of 2 plants. One of them was actually in the polytunnel, and this year fully laden with fruit, lots of it, and only just now starting to ripen. This is another, is this a tricolour? Is this a tricolour? Yep, this is the other tricolour that's in here. This one could do with the watering actually, but also ripening now. And from these beautiful little purple green streaked fruits, and then they ripen to these lovely sort of red purple streaked fruits. Dry spice for that one as well. This is the other cayenne that's very wonky. I don't know, you could probably just see from me touching this why I think the fruit is really dodgy on them this year. It's just like, it's horrible. It just feels like there's jelly inside them, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna ditch that too. This peri peri seems to be ripening up a lot now. That's good. Now if the other ones would catch up, we can start making sauce. I'm actually itching to make a peri peri sauce. And if the others start going, I can start to do that. The puma in here is strange because it's making all these little tiny sort of blackberry sized fruit, or blackcurrant sized fruit. Puma currants. And I'm picking them anyway, I'm drying them because the pumas are just getting dried for dry spice anyway, so it's not going to make any difference how big they are or how juicy they are, because I'm drying all the water out of them anyway. There's a sweet pepper. This is Criolla de Cocina, and they're really nice looking peppers. This is like this one here is probably the biggest one that is produced this year. Doesn't like 15 to 11 litre pots, doesn't like this greenhouse. So next year there will be a better plan in place for that. This is a lemon spice, needs watered. Ring of Fire, which doesn't look like a ring of fire. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. This is from Save Seeds, so it's possible it's been another cross. But all the other seeds were fine. Poblano, I took 2 of these the other day and ate them for lunch. Stuffed with chicken and cheese and all sorts of lovely things. And it was wonderful, and that has ensured I'm going to grow this every year now. So that's that. That's everything sort of starting to ripen, starting to end. In the case of the cayennes, they're getting binned. In the case of the Basque chili over here, once the fruit's ripened, it's going to get binned. There's a couple others that really look like they're finished once their fruit's finished, or once the first pick is done. So that's us coming to the end of the growing season and coming into the fruit picking and preservation season. Of course, it won't be the growing season for these guys because these will be going up the road in about a week's time, ready to get potted on and put on a shelf to overwinter. And I'm really amazed at the turnout. This is a little Malawi bird's eye. And the fruit's spectacular. This is the only Malawi bird's eye plant I've grown this year. So that's another one of these updates done for now. If you enjoyed it, give me a big thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. It's not at the point where it would actually help my channel any. I'm not going to make any money out of it or anything, but it's free. If you want to watch me waffling on and talking crap about stuff, subscribe, switch on the little bell, and you'll get a wee notification when I release new videos. Thanks for watching.